here to announce my retirement from basketball.
With those words, the 1999 Chicago Bulls season was destined to be one of change. In Toronto, the Raptors are going through their own period of change, beginning with a sellout at their new Air Canada Centre last Sunday. Its very first bucket scored by a rookie. Tonight, two teams with completely different pasts find themselves alike in the present. Next.
Live from the Air Canada Centre in Toronto, Ontario. Welcome to Chicago Bulls basketball on Fox Sports Chicago. As tonight, the Bulls pay a visit to the Toronto Raptors. Hi everybody, I'm Tom Dorr. John Paxson is alongside. Pax Bulls got a nice win last night. And a couple guys played really well. A guy that has been consistent of late has been Randy Brown. He's done a number of things well.
Well, he'll get his 5th start in a row tonight. And over the last 4 games, he's averaged 10 points, 5 assists, and he shot the ball at 57%. And he's given them a real nice effort on the defensive end, especially last night against David Wesley. Forced him into 5 turnovers, had high energy in that game. And it's another game tonight where Randy's going to be matched against a young player, see if he can't harass him a little bit on the defensive end.
And a guy that shot the ball very well was Andrew Lang. Got to start 32 minutes, 14 points. But Pax, I think the 5 of 6 from the floor for him was almost as important as those 10 rebounds.
Well, going into the game last night, Andrew was shooting just 27% from the floor, but he got off to a quick start, made some shots early. That carried over into the game. He's going to have another solid effort because he's matched up against a veteran player in Kevin Willis tonight.
If you haven't seen Toronto this year, this is a much different team than what you've seen in the past. And a guy that is starting to come into his own a little bit as a rookie, Vince Carter, who's played very, very well for them so far.
He's a tremendous talent, and the people in Toronto are real excited about him. The thing that stands out about him is he's a real physical presence. He has a real good body at that small forward, big guard position. People are happy, and he can play in the post, but he can also step on the floor where he's very explosive. Maybe the best part of his game right now is he has a strong finish at the rim.
And a couple guys inside that have made a big difference and given them that inside presence, Charles Oakley and Kevin Willis.
Well, last year this team gave up the most points of anyone in the league, 104, and they got out-rebounded every night by an average of 5. Those numbers have turned around a little bit. They're out-rebounding their opponent by 6, and if the Bulls are going to start a small lineup tonight, they're really going to have to challenge those two on the boards.
Because they will get after you. All right, the Chicago Bulls just about set to take on the Toronto Raptors. And coming up, Ron Harper and the Bulls will see if they can put some smiles on their faces and beat Toronto.
Fox Sports Chicago's coverage of Chicago Bulls basketball is brought to you in part by your local Chicagoland Chevrolet dealers. People you can trust when you're looking for a great car value. New Discover Platinum. Now more than ever, it pays to discover. Platinum. Ward. You can't shop smarter than Ward. Budweiser. Now is the perfect time to enjoy a fresh, cold, Beechwood-aged Budweiser. And by United. Rising is a daily commitment to make flying more civilized. United is rising.
Welcome back to the Great White North. We're here in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Bulls basketball is coming up in just a couple of moments. Now, lately you find former Chicago Bulls kind of wherever you go. Long-time Chicago Bull, long-time New York Knick, Charles Oakley up in Toronto. How are things happening here for you in Toronto?
Well, you know, it's a young team that's trying to get established in the league. New coach, a lot of new players, and my first year here. And, you know, we starting off pretty well for a team trying to build up credibility around the league. And I think that we just have to keep working every night on the court.
Charles, talk to me about Vince Carter. A lot of people are saying some really nice things about the guy, comparing him to a guy you played with when you were in your younger days, Michael Jordan.
Well, you know, it's no North Carolina guy, and I think that Michael, you know, came to the league mature. He went to college and got the game down went under great coach Dean Smith, and Vince run the same system. I think the difference in them is Michael is more of a outgoing guy and know the game. Vince know the game, but it's a different level. It's been taught different in college now, and Michael more advanced than Vince. Vince have a lot of talent. He's working to get there, so it's the difference.
And Charles, what's next up for you? You're 35 years old. How many more years are you thinking about playing?
Well, 3 or 4. I'm a free agent this year, and hopefully, you know, if I don't come back here, I go to a contending team and, you know, try to get a ring like the guys, Chicago guy for 6 years. And, you know, I'm just trying to work hard every night and just come out and play a professional job.
Well, we wish you all the best of luck.
Thank you.
That's Charles Oakley, one of the truly good guys. Stay tuned, everybody. Chicago Bulls basketball is coming up next.
Introducing Fox Sports Chicago's Bulls analysts. John Paxson, 2,153 career assists. Norm Van Leer, 3,676. John, 468 career steals. Norm, 724. John has 3 championship rings. Norm and Pax on your home for the Chicago Bulls. Fox Sports Chicago.
Welcome back to the Air Canada Center. Here's tonight's matchup for the Bulls and the Toronto Raptors. Toronto averaging about 10 points more, while giving up some more points than the Bulls. Field goal percentage a little bit better for Toronto. 3-point a little better for the Bulls. Free throw, again, a little stronger for the Raptors. And some walking wounded, some guys that are a little injured at this point in time for both teams. For the Bulls, Jeff Sanders got that left foot. Keith Booth has a quad strain. And Corey Carr is fighting a back strain. For Toronto, Tracy McGrady won't play tonight, and that's unfortunate. Sean Marks got a bad back. Paul Rogers got a fractured ankle. And Michael Williams has a bad left foot. Here's our Montgomery Ward starting lineups for the Bulls. Toni Kukoc with a big job tonight along with Andrew Lang. You've got guys inside that are going to be very strong, very physical. Kevin Willis and Charles Oakley are just as strong as they can be. And of course, Ron Harper and Randy Brown have got to fight with that good backcourt. For those Raptors, Oakley and Willis, we talked to you about the guys inside. Doug Christie, Williams, a big, strong team. And Vince Carter in the upper right-hand side. Tim Floyd, head coach of the Bulls, all smiles. Ball club got a win last night. Coming on the road, looking for another one. And Butch Carter, head man for the Raptors. We talked about what a different team this Toronto ball club is, and Pax, as we go along, I think we'll see a lot of that in what they can do inside and their athleticism. Just a much different team. There's Carter. Our officials for this evening's game: Bennett Salvador, Tom Washington, and Phil Robinson. In fact, when you here's the history of this series. Bulls lead at 10-2 and a 7-game win streak. But I think the big difference for this ball club, Vince Carter is a difference, but with Willis and Oakley, you have established veterans who know how to get things done inside.
Well, they were soft last year, and we talked about the fact they gave up 104 points a game. That was more than any team in the league. This year that number's down to 95, and they have a physical presence down there in both Willis and Oakley, guys that have been around and are going to take hard fouls and control the board. So I think that's the big difference. Now you have some young talent. What they have is a nice blend of 2 veterans and then a young group of very athletic and talented players.
Bennett Salvador will throw it up at half court. Willis and Lang are ready to jump center. Hold on. The oak trees. Which way do you want me, coach? Bennett Salvador, the official, just say whenever you guys are ready. Well, after all that, the Bulls win the tap. Harp goes right side. Brent Barry goes on top. Toni, pretty good ball movement at the start for the Bulls. Kukoc, baseline jumper on the way, back to the rim. Rebound tapped out, will belong to Toronto. Fox Sports Chicago, I'd like to welcome our affiliate TCI of Illinois and the viewers in Morris, Illinois. Alvin Williams with it, with Randy Brown right there. Brown tried to get the steal and almost did. Doug Christie, turnaround jumper, and Ron Harper with the rebound.
Let's see that first possession. That's what Randy Brown did effectively last night against David Wesley. Got his hand on the dribble that was going to initiate the offense, so Toronto didn't get what they wanted, had to settle for a long shot early.
Harp, baseline 3 on the way. Back of the rim, Toni Kukoc will be called for the push-up.
Well, the Bulls have some quickness on the floor, should be able to get a little penetration. But if that's the shot that's given up, those are ones that they're going to have to knock down. And that's been the first 2 possessions, perimeter jump shots from the left corner.
Williams was looking for the screen, instead finds Oakley up high. Remember, Charles, a pretty good shooter. Oakley backs it in, missed that one. Vince Carter with the rebound, had it tapped away. And Randy Brown pushes it up. Brown, top of the circle jumper, bangs home. Randy Brown, big shot.
Good patience offensively because they read the mismatch, threw it inside, then kicked it back out, and Oakley still stayed down. So that's the shot that Randy Brown has been shooting more consistently, and it's one that's making teams pay for helping off of it.
Oakley sets the screen. Randy Brown went underneath that screen. Harp tried to tap it and picks up the foul. Tuesday, March 2nd, Bulls take on the Pistons. It's Fox Sports Chicago Hat Night. First 10,000 fans in the United Center receive a Bulls hat. Compliments of Fox Sports Chicago, and you will want one of those good hats.
Now, one of the keys tonight is going to be the Bulls' team defense, because this is the type of team that will isolate on the post and they will isolate in situations out on the floor. So the weak side is going to have their eyes on the plays. You see Christie just gets beats Brent Barry along the baseline. He sends him baseline. He's too close to the basket. Help can't come.
Harp posts up down low. Turns and looks. Fires it out to Brown. Wants it back. Has it. Goes up inside. Off the glass. Nope. Rebound Charles Oakley. 2-2. 9:48 left. First half. Carter fadeaway jumper. Back of the rim. And Randy Brown with a rebound. Barry pushes it up the floor, goes up, had it blocked away by Carter. Bulls want a goaltending, and counted. They're going to call goaltending.
Now, good recognition and a good push up the floor early. The Bulls, if they can defensive rebound with this group, you have some guys who can get out and run. And Brent Barry just attacked. The defense wasn't back, and there's the shot up. And Vince Carter, a good athlete, averaging almost 2 block shots a game, a little late, and gets called for the goaltend.
I think everybody was expecting 2 shots. It was only 1, and Toronto pushes it up the floor. Illegal defense on the Bulls as Ron Harper and Andrew Lang were in the same spot. Bulls 2 of 5, Toronto 1 of 4.
And they got into a little better rhythm shooting the basketball against Charlotte last night, 46%. Finding their way around the offense much better. They just have to continue to grow in that area.
Christie wants to post up again with Barry. Has it there. Makes the baseline move. Puts it off the glass. Nope. Rebound. Tapped in.
Well, there's the isolation that we're talking about. They just clear out the side, and Doug Christie, a real good athlete, takes it baseline. Now the Bulls do come and help, but that just leaves the boards open, and Toronto's able to clean that up.
Harp with it on the right wing. Toni comes across. Barry goes inside, off the glass, and good. Nice quick play.
Yeah, and that's the recognition in the offense. You had Toni Kukoc on the backside. He stepped into the gap, and then a good hard cut. And that's one of the things this offense relies on, the good hard cuts that come out of it. And that whole backside and basket area was left open for Brent Barry to get to the rim.
And a quick foul called on Randy Brown. They'll call him for a block. 3rd team foul on the Bulls. Carter looks down low for Christie, who has it. Christie makes the move, lost it, and Harp is right there.
And better defense. You saw Brent Barry that time take away the baseline, force him back into the middle, and that's where his help was.
Barry got the shot off again.
Here's one of the isolations against Brent Barry. A nice move by Christie to get to the rim. You see a little help coming, not very strong help, but it does leave the backside open for the rebound. Here's Toni Kukoc stepping in the gap offensively, and Brent Barry makes the cut as they were taking away that pass to the top. He's able to make a nice hard cut to the basket for the easy score.
Barry makes it 7-4 Bulls and 8-4. And the Bulls are going to give him a little pressure here. Willis wants it, has it down low. Baseline jumper. Kevin Willis hits that.
Well, he likes that left block, and he has a couple of moves. That one turning to the baseline. He also likes to come to the middle and shoot a jump hook over his left shoulder. The Bulls are going to try to read him tonight on where he catches the basketball. That time it was a little deep, so they didn't come and help.
Nice move by Toni, and he got fouled by Charles Oakley. That was a really nice little fake out. Oakley turned his head, and as soon as he did, Toni recognized that and went the other way.
He just moved without the basketball, and this is a tough matchup for Toronto because Charles Oakley used to playing, guys on the floor that aren't as athletic or can move like Toni can. So Toni just read the play. The Bulls had nice spacing, and he was able to get underneath. And what you like too here early in the game is that the Bulls are getting to the free throw line.
Bulls 4 of 5 from the free throw line. Christie picks up his dribble and finds Oakley. Williams will take the baseline three and hit.
He's not shooting well. Just 28% on the season. You want to make him make a few of those early in this game, then you'll have to get out and challenge him. But the Bulls are going to look to help off of him as much as they possibly can.
Bounce pass on top. Toni, top of the circle jumper, in and out. Willis with the rebound. Oakley fakes the shot. Willis goes into post up. That's what I call a strong sound. Willis goes baseline, puts it up, got it, count it, and he's fouled by Andrew Lang.
His first team foul number 4. Willis at the line for the Raptors, shooting 1.
All right, one man, one this time now. Play.
So Willis gets one shot, make it 11-10, Toronto with the lead. Bulls go with two guards high. Now initiate the offense on the pass. Kukoc starts to drive, gets it back to Lang, bounce past Randy Brown. Baseline Harper. Bulls trying to attack the basket. Little jump hook by Harp, comes over the back and pulls down the offensive rebound. How about that? Nice play by Harp inside Lang off Toni, and you thought you heard a foul. Yeah. Bennett Salvatore from the top blew the whistle when the baseline official did not. We got a timeout on the floor. 6 minutes 54 seconds left in the first, and the Toronto Raptors lead the Bulls 12-10.
Welcome back to the Air Canada Center. Early on in the first quarter, the Bulls trail the Raptors by a score of 12-10. Well, what is $265 million Canadian buy you these days? Well, you can buy this arena, the Air Canada Center. That's how much it costs, and this place is awesome. Inside it, 19,000 seats for basketball, 2 bars, 5 restaurants, 1 Toronto Maple Leafs Hall of Fame, and 1 fully equipped practice facility for the Raptors, among other things. Tom, Pax, back to you guys.
No partridge in a pear tree. I'm disappointed. An 8-2 run makes it 12-10 Raptors. Andrew Lang got fouled on his way to the bucket. And the first one short.
Now we've seen the Raptors go to Kevin Willis early in this basketball game. Here on the left block, he turns toward the baseline and shoots a little jumper. And then on the right block, he's able to spin baseline and get all the way to the basket, and the help not coming from that baseline side, so he's able to get to the rim.
Lang missed them both. Now dives and picks up the foul and hurt his left hand. He dove and landed on his left hand. He just gets up and runs down to the other end.
And already with just under 7 minutes to go, the Bulls have put Toronto in the penalty.
I think you see him land on that left hand. Ouch. Williams hits the first. He gets one more. Lang still kind of working on that left hand, trying to loosen it up a little bit. Williams hits both of those. Barry starts the offense with the pass. Harp goes on top. Kukoc gives it right back to Randy. Starts to make the move. Lost the ball. Now gets it back. Shot clock at 7 at 6. Harp baseline fadeaway jumper is good for Ron Harper.
That's a tough shot too, because he had Doug Christie right on his shooting hand, but Harper had missed his first 3 shots. Knocks one in.
Christie looks inside, and Andrew Lang is there to pick it up. Randy Brown pushes it ahead, finds Kukoc. This time, Harp, double team, finds Randy Brown, had it blocked away by Willis. Out of bounds, it'll belong to the Bulls with 10 in the shot clock. Dickey Simpkins will come in. Andrew Lang comes out. Thursday, March 11th, Bulls take on the Sonics. It's ComEd Hat Night First 10,000 fans in the United Center will receive a Bulls hat. Compliments of ComEd. Out of the out of bounds play. Bulls tried the three-point play. Dickey Simpkins couldn't quite come up with the rebound. Willis backs his way in. Back to Christie, back to Willis. There's the jump hook Pax talked about. Oakley with a one-handed rebound, and the reason he only went up with one hand is Toni had his other wrapped up, and Kukoc will pick up the foul.
And that's really the tough part of the matchup with Toni Kukoc defending Charles Oakley. It's on the weak side boards. You saw the Bulls swarm Kevin Willis. He had three players around him, but you had the weak side basket area exposed, and Toni Kukoc just wasn't able to see the fight down there. Tony's just got to wrestle with him. I mean, you almost sometimes have to face guard a guy like that to try to keep him away from the basket.
Bill Winnington is up off the Bulls bench. Billy comes in. Toni Kukoc leads.
We'll see if Bill can't find his rhythm a little bit with his shot tonight. He came off the injured list yesterday and didn't shoot the ball real well last night, but he's a guy that they need some offense from, and he's always going to make himself available in this offense to shoot that perimeter shot.
Bill comes in and picks up a rebound right away. 14-12. Raptors with the lead. Just under 5.5 left in the first. Randy Brown got caught in the air and fired it to Doug Christie, who pushes it up the floor. Oakley, top of the circle, goes inside, and Willis slams it down.
Now, points off turnovers are always a key, and the Bulls on the penetration were only able to get one guard back because Randy Brown was the guy that turned the ball over. So a great pass from the perimeter from Charles Oakley, who found Kevin Willis, and Willis off to a terrific start here early in the game.
Harp finds Simpkins. Dickey from 17. That's short. Christie with another rebound. Pushes it up the floor. Looks inside where Willis is posted up. Yep, that's where it's going. Willis turnaround, baseline jumper, back of the rim, and Simpkins with the rebound. Dickey picks up his first board. From the floor, Bulls 4 of 12. Toronto's made a couple more, 6 of 12. Winnington bounces it, and it's tapped away. Christie comes up with it, had it knocked loose. Carter comes to the basket with the left hand, missed it, but tipped it in. Now, one of the things the Bulls need to do a little better is screening. And early in this game, they haven't really held their screens. And that last pass was just in traffic. Too much going on in the middle of the floor, and the Bulls turn it over. Timeout called by Tim Floyd and the Bulls. They want to talk it over. 4 minutes, 13 seconds left in the first, and the Raptors have opened up a lead here at the Air Canada Center. Mark it down, 18-12 Raptors.
Chicago Bulls basketball is brought to you in part by Chevrolet Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road, and by ComEd, official energy company of the Chicago Bulls. ComEd, what do you do with your power?
Welcome back to the Air Canada Center here in Toronto, home for the Raptors and Maple Leafs.
So a couple of turnovers have hurt the Bulls. Here you see the Bulls run their offense. The screen in the lane isn't set deep enough. Dickey Simpkins doesn't set his man up, and there's just a lot of congestion around the free throw line area that allows Toronto to run to the other end and get a score by Vince Carter.
The Bulls are trying to go to the Vince Carter-Bill Winnington matchup, but Kukoc goes away from it, goes inside, and Kevin Willis will pick up the foul.
And you don't want to force the mismatches on the floor. If you get into the offense, especially guys like Bill Winnington who understand this, they'll find their way to take advantage of that mismatch. The Bulls looked initially like they wanted to force feed it into Bill. They got it back to the strong side and threw the ball into the post, drawing the foul.
There's the Raptors run. Last 4.5 minutes. Cornell David will check in. Simpkins makes the first. And Bill Winnington will check out. Michael Stewart comes in. Kevin Willis will leave.
So with Tracy McGrady out of the game for Toronto, a guy like John Williams, he's going to get John Wallace is going to get a chance to play. He played real well the other night against Minnesota, his best game of the year, and he's a guy that averaged 14 points a game for them last year after coming over from New York. Very talented offensive player. The Bulls are going to have to match up with him.
Bulls give him some pressure, and Carter gets it across on the pass. Down low Stewart, who's really more of a rebounder than a shooter. And Toni Kukoc comes away with a rebound.
Yeah, that's a guy that you can play one-on-one defense in the post, turn him out, and then take care of the defensive boards.
Inside, Simpkins, as Stewart just pushes him. There's two hands in the back on Michael Stewart.
See, I like that. That is out of the offense where Dickey Simpkins just stepped in front of the defense. The Bulls moved to the top of the circle and looked right down the gut. A real good look where you get the ball deep inside. Here you see the Bulls. Dickey just steps in front of the defense. Doesn't get as deep as first thought, but he's still able to get the defender on his back and draw the foul. And with them in the penalty, he's going to get a couple of free throws.
When you're a big guy and you can step in and get that pass directly down from the guard, you're right in front of the basket generally, and you're either going to get a basket or a foul unless you just miss it. But you've got a terrific opportunity to make something happen right now, and you don't have to worry about all the passes. You don't have to worry about anything else, right?
Absolutely. But it's just another look that you can give here too. I mean, it's now the post guy. Even though the ball's being swung, he can step in, look for the basketball. If he doesn't have it, he can always get back out of the lane.
And now the defender has to be aware of that and try and stop you doing that. Bulls do a nice job of slowing down Toronto, just bringing the ball across the half-court line.
And one thing they aren't now is match, and Toronto's going to try to exploit that, looking down low to John Wallace.
With Toni on him, Toni tries to front him. Simpkins comes over to help out. Wallace off the glass and go. Wallace, a guy they really like and they think has a chance. He gets a little bit better defensively to be a nice contributor. He's coming off the bench, making things happen offensively. Cornell David steps in the lane with the left hand, missed the rim, and Carter with the rebound gets it out to Doug Christie. Christie comes off the Wallace screen, fadeaway jumper, bounds in and out, and Dickey Simpkins with the rebound. Toni stepped in just like Dickey did a couple times before, and Toni just couldn't quite hang on to the ball. Long three for Barry that goes in and out. Quick pass inside. Wallace goes up and hits that one.
Well, it's one of the things that Toronto can do well with their athletes, and that's run the floor. And they're looking right now to push it up quickly and then go right down into the post. And the Bulls have had a tough time getting matched. John Wallace was able to get right to the basket.
Randy Brown finds Brent Barry. Gives it back to Brown. Starts to drive inside. Brown off the glass. He heard the whistle, put the shot up. And he'll go to the line for a pair. Tomorrow night in the game room, it's a one-on-one interview with new Bears head coach Dick Duran. The game room tomorrow at 7 on Fox Sports Chicago.
And the Bulls have not shot the basketball well early in the game, just 4 of 14, but they have been getting to the free throw line after Randy shoots these two. They've been there 13 times, and that's keeping them in it. But a lot of times settling for that long perimeter shot. And those long shots, we saw it last night with Charlotte. Long shots can lead to long rebounds, and that early in this game is allowing the Raptors to run out and get some quick scores.
Doug Christie comes out. Alvin Williams comes in for him. Randy made the first and makes the second as well.
And now they have a small guard lineup on the floor with Williams and Dee Brown, but Dee Brown can play the 2-guard spot, a terrific shooter, and they'll probably run him off with some screens using Alvin Williams as the ball handler.
Michael Stewart with his way out on the floor. Dee Brown looking inside for Wallace, and Toni read it pretty well and picks it off. 22-18, Toronto with the lead, but the Bulls trying to cut into that a little bit. Barry fakes the pass, goes to the basket, off the glass, no, rebound tap, no good. Simpkins fakes, goes up, had it blocked away by Stewart. Now here comes Williams, pushes it up the floor, inside against Kukoc, lays it in.
Beautiful move. The Bulls never got the basketball stopped. They did a good job getting the offensive board, but not able to complete in traffic, led to that easy score.
Barry with a baseline deuce. Brent Barry quiets this crowd. Fast break points pretty strong for Toronto. 6-0. Carter comes off the screen. Nice baseline pass. Stewart jumper right side was an air ball. Well, I told you he was a good defender and rebound.
Well, that's the guy you want to give the shot to, and the Bulls, even though they didn't play that screen and roll the way they wanted to, they left him open.
Barry with the open three. That was a good look, and Brent Barry's hit 2 in a row now. A deuce from the other baseline, a 3 from the left side, and it's a 1-point ball game with 37 seconds left in the first. Williams. Baseline jumper on the way, in and out, and Simpkins with another rebound. Bulls run the open play. Brown on top, just letting some clock run right now. Shot clock, game clock, just about the same. With Carter on him, Toni turns and faces. Got a little help. Fadeaway jumper. Toni missed it. Randy Brown with the rebound. Got it. How about that?
Well, the help came from Randy Brown's man. He was cutting through. He just ended up in the right place at the right time for the score.
No shot. Won't count. Even if it gone in, it will not count. A 9-2 run at the end of the first quarter brings the Bulls to a 1-point lead. We played a period in Toronto, and the Bulls lead the Raptors 25-24.
Toni Kukoc has assumed the role of Bulls' top scorer. Grant Hill plays the same role for the Pistons. New faces, same rivalry. Bulls, Pistons, Tuesday at 7 on Fox Sports Chicago.
Ready to start second quarter. Bulls with a 1-point lead, 25-24, and a nice run at the end of the first quarter for the Bulls. Here's our first quarter stats. Bulls end up shooting 7 of 21. Raptors 10 of 21. Inside scoring, Raptors much better, but the Bulls 10 of 13 from the free throw line compared to just 3 of 5 for the Raptors. And the Bulls did a nice job rebounding. Out-rebounded a big, strong Toronto team 13-12.
And that's going to continue to be one of the keys. Can the Bulls hold their own on the boards? But that free throw number is really the one that stands out because they didn't shoot it well from the field, but they got to the free throw line and they end up 1. And Brent Barry had a terrific quarter. 4 of 8 from the floor, 2 of 3 from the line, a three-pointer in there for 11 points.
Reggie Slater in the ball game. Doug Christie goes on top. Dee Brown, long three is good. In fact, you talked about it right when he checked in. He's a guy that can score.
And he's their one legitimate three-point shooter right now. And coming out to start the quarter, they ran a little back screen for him to free him up. He was able to get a good look and knock it down.
David went down baseline. Instead, tried to get it to Harper posted up. 10 on the clock. Kukoc tries to beat Slater. Baseline jump hook is short. Rebound pulled down by Willis. Williams gets it ahead to Brown, who lost it, then gets it back. Slater, strong post-up player, moves inside, put it up and in.
Well, you can see what Toronto's philosophy is picking out whoever Tony's guarding, and they're trying to force feed it down there. We've seen it with a couple players in the game. John Wallace, now Reggie Slater. He went right at Toni after facing him up and got into the lane.
Kukoc wants the one-on-one. Slater comes over to help. Rusty LaRue had a great night last night, just couldn't quite get that one to fall. Dee Brown pushes it ahead to a cameraman in the first row. And it'll be Bulls ball. Tuesday, March 2nd, Bulls take on the Pistons. It's Fox Sports Chicago hat night. You'll love these hats. First 10,000 fans in the United Center receive a Bulls hat. Compliments of Fox Sports Chicago. Think we'll get any?
I hope so.
I do too. Cornell David with it on the right side. We'll be among the first 10,000 in. I know that. Toni turns and looks. Starts to back his way in. Spins, had it knocked away, and a foul called on Slater.
Now, Toni having a tough night from the floor, 0 for 4, but this is one way he can kind of get himself in a rhythm by getting to the free throw line. This will be his third and fourth attempts, and the Bulls continue to do good things, at least to draw themselves inside and get to the foul line.
The waiter makes the first. Max Cornell David is a guy that you and I talk a little bit about and have had a chance to kind of visit about a little bit. A guy that's just kind of learning the English language, much like the NBA. But he's a guy that I think people like in the Bulls organization because he plays hard every second he's on the floor.
He's a high activity guy. Something's going to happen when he's on the floor, and sometimes he'll just run himself into a basket. We've seen it several times. He'll go to the offensive boards. He just does a lot of little things out there, and with time he'll have to continue to learn the system better.
Baseline three from the left corner. Alvin Williams with the shot.
Well, Alvin Williams was a guy that the Bulls wanted to sink off of, but now he's making them pay for that. He's already knocked in 2 3-pointers in the game.
Harper finds Cornell David, gives it right back. 3-point shooting. 3 of 3 for Toronto. Rusty with the fake. Finds Cornell. David goes on top. Shot clock at 4. Harper the long tray. How about that? Ron Harper hits that from the left side. we got a 2-point ball game. Harp with 5. And Rusty LaRue will be called for a hand check. And we got a timeout. 9 minutes 44 seconds left in the first half. And the Toronto Raptors lead the Bulls here in Toronto 32-30.
Welcome back to Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Now, if the Bulls look like they have a little bit of an extra bounce in their step, well, maybe it's the floor. This brand new floor here in Toronto is made out of a unique substance. It's the only floor in the NBA that's rubberized. It's got a thin rubber coating all over the top of the floor. The thinking is that the rubber coating is going to help guys with their knees and with their backs. Back to you guys at the table.
Something that has you say, Who's hot with the Bulls? Well, let's talk about that. Mark Bryant, who is out tonight, he's got a sore rib. Talked to him before the game. He said it's unchanged. Rusty LaRue, last 2 games, shot it well. And Andrew Lang. Inside, Kevin Willis. Jump hook. How about that? A strong rebound from Harper.
Well, and that's what the Bulls are going to need. They're going to need a team rebounding game. And you look at last night against Charlotte, it was the Bulls guards who did a real nice job. Ron Harper had 5. Randy Brown had 7. Your starting guards combined for 12 last night against Charlotte.
Tony takes that long jumper and hits.
He had Reggie Slater on, and Reggie Slater gave him some room out there, so Tony was able to get a real good look and knock that in.
6 points, a rebound, and 3 assists for TK. Williams comes around the screen. Tony with good help shows and recovers, and Rusty LaRue kicked it. So they'll reset the 24-second shot clock. Here the Bulls coaches. Slater goes down low, and I guess he listened. Then Christie comes right back and steals it. Randy Brown was hollering at him, trying to get him to lose it. Christie on the left wing. Goes down low. Willis goes to the basket and lays it in.
They made a quick move on Dickey Simpkins, and Dickey wants to try to take that middle away, but Willis was able to get head and shoulders by him.
Harp wants Rusty to pop out, which he does. Defender falls down, finds Harp, baseline Kukoc, throws it inside to Simpkins, fakes, puts it up. Good strong move by Dickey. Got hit, continued up with some strength.
That was good ball movement by the Bulls to swing the ball on. Tony got caught up in the air, but still had Dickey as an option. You're right, Dickey was able to gather himself and use his body to go into Willis and get the score.
LaRue went over to help out and realized that he has got an illegal defense. That'll be a technical foul. Eric Collins, what do you got, buddy?
Yeah, Tom, if Rusty LaRue looks like he's a proud brother right now, it's because he is. His younger sister, Katie LaRue, just this week she was named the Big South Freshman of the Year. She's a guard who plays at Charleston Southern. Rusty says he knew it was coming. This summer, when she beat him in back-to-back games of horse, Rusty hasn't played her since. Back to you guys.
I would guess not. Christie hits the tee.
I don't think I would have told anybody that.
Oh, man. I might have said, hey, I'm really proud of my sister. Here's what she did. But I think I'd have kept the other part quiet. So that's almost as bad as the George Karl story, getting hurt by your son, you know, playing hoops with your son. Brown goes down low. Christie makes the move, goes to the basket. How about that? Cornell David knocks it away.
And that was the matchup that hurt the Bulls early in the game. Doug Christie went right at Brent Barry, and the Bulls made a nice substitution. Cornell David now in 2 possessions has come up with a steal and a block shot, so he's showing that he has the quickness to defend a guy like Doug Christie, at least for the last couple of possessions.
Tony with it on the left wing. Hops out. Rusty LaRue with the jumper. Back to the rim. And Cornell David with the rebound.
There's that activity level. He just he works himself into good plays on the floor. He just kept moving and came up with an offensive rebound.
Harp's fadeaway jumper goes over the top, and it'll belong to Toronto. Vince Carter checks back in. Carter tested out this year at one of those pre-draft camps that they have. They do all the physical tests, the high jump, long jump, and he tested out better than anybody in the draft.
Now, the key for him in talking to their people is that he needs to start stringing consecutive good games together, and he's done that the last 2, but early in the year he was a guy that was have a good game, then an off night. And in this league, consistency is the key, especially when you relied on each night from your team.
Dee Brown with the jumper. That goes over the top, and it'll belong to the Bulls. Coach Carter, the head coach.
And the one thing I'm sure Toronto doesn't want to do right now is settle for those perimeter shots. They have Kevin Willis down there. He's scored a couple of times against Dickey Simpkins. That time he ran a little screen and roll and ended up taking a long shot.
Harp gets it right back. Spins in the lane. Fadeaway jumper partially blocked, and Willis comes away with it.
And that's a tough shot. Harp's trying to create something off the dribble, and Carter's a good enough athlete where he's able to take it away and then challenge the shot.
Carter. Turnaround jumper in the lane is good.
A little indecisive on where the Bulls wanted to help that time. The Bulls bench was yelling at Rusty LaRue to go down off of Dee Brown, but too late, and Vince Carter gets too deep. And right now, where Toronto's having a lot of success is inside with their post-up game.
Saw the blocks as Willis pulls down the Rusty LaRue miss. Brown crossover dribble. LaRue keeps him in front of him. Shot clock at 12. Turnaround jumper, baseline is short. Rebound, Cornell David comes away with it. 2 rebounds, 2 assists for Cornell David. Kukoc. The fake, looks inside. Harp on the left side. He'll take a 3. He's hit 1 from there. This one was short, and Willis with the rebound. 37-34, Toronto with the lead. Dee Brown with it on the wing. Turns and faces, backs in, runs over Harp, and an offensive foul. And we got a timeout on the floor. 5 minutes, 44 seconds left in the first half. Vince Carter's offensive foul will give it back to the Bulls, who trail Toronto by 3. Tuesday night in the game room, Norm Van Leer and Bulls coach Tim Floyd hit the town. That's the game room Tuesday night at 7 on Fox Sports Chicago. Bulls fans, tickets for every Bulls game are now on sale. To purchase tickets, visit the United Center box office, Ticketmaster outlets, or call 312-559-1212.
Well, the last 2 possessions, the Bulls have done a much better job post defense against Vince Carter. It's been Ron Harper who challenged him that possession to take it away, and Cornell David comes up with the rebound. And then here you see Ron Harper read the face up and then take away the drive, throws his body in there and draws the charge.
37-34, Toronto with the lead. Harp lob for Barry. Oh, I like that play. How about that? A quick screen, and then Brent goes right to the basket.
Coming out of a timeout, the Bulls run something that teams haven't seen, and Brent Barry can get up to the rim, and you use a good passer out on the floor. That's well executed, and the backside of the basket was wide open.
Good defense by Dickey Simpkins. Harp pushes it up the floor, goes inside, finds Simpkins, who had it blocked, but a foul call. Boy, that's a nice string for the Bulls. A good offensive play, good stop, and then bring it down. Now they're going to the line.
Well, it was in the second quarter last night against Charlotte where their defense became more active, and they got their hands on balls, came up with some steals, and they were able to make a run and get the lead and keep the lead throughout the game. And here we've seen the last several possessions, they've done a better job defensively, forcing a couple turnovers, and now they get to the free throw line.
Simpkins first is good. How about this lob, Pex?
Well, you have a good passer out on the floor in Ron Harper, and we don't see the back screen. They run a back screen and then just fly Brent Barry to the front of the rim as that back side of the basket was clear.
Andrew Lang will check in for the Bulls. Oh, he's coming in for Dickey. Okay.
And Dickey again has played solid in this first half. 4 rebounds, getting to the free throw line. He can make this free throw of 8 points in the half.
Willis comes down with the board, makes it 37-37. 5:06 left, first half. Dee Brown looks for the opening. Simpkins comes over to help. They find Willis, who lost it. Simpkins now pushes it up the floor. Look out, look out. And Doug Christie comes up with it. He's got Dee Brown, and Brown wanted the lob. Oh, Randy Brown knocked it away. Nice play by Randy.
But that's a possession the Bulls should have had. Dickey, the mistake he made was when he got the basketball, he took 1 or 2 dribbles out, picked the ball up, find a guy that can advance it. He got into too much trouble and then in traffic and ended up turning it over. You just hope that it doesn't cost you in a basket here for Toronto.
Dee Brown takes a baseline 3, missed it, and Brent Barry with the rebound. So luckily the Bulls escaped that one. Barry brings it to the right side, goes on top for Randy Brown. Quick pass inside Andrew Lang. A good offensive game last night. Back inside Lang. Rolls through the lane. Lefty hook. Back to the rim. Fights for the rebound. Oh, it just wouldn't fall, and Oakley comes away with it. Oakley goes down low. Willis baseline spin. Missed the dunk. And Brent Barry with the carry. Pushes it ahead for Cornell David. Williams tried to save it. It'll be out of bounds to the Bulls.
So that's the
Kukoc will get come back. I'm sorry,
the second time that Kevin Willis on that right block has tried that quick spin move. The Bulls are lucky he wasn't able to finish the play. Andrew Lang gets leaning on him, and right on catch he's able to spin and get to the basket.
Inbound goes to Barry off the glass. Couldn't get it. Rebound fight for. Barry got it. Turnaround jumper is no good. .345 left first half. Willis starts to back in, looks for the open man. It's Christie on top. He's looking for the three, in and out, and the rebound tapped out. Will belong to Toronto.
See, and right there, that was one you didn't necessarily have to double at that time because you had Kevin Willis well off the block and you left a shooter open. And again, you're giving up some rebounding position because you have to scramble a little bit defensively. If Willis is off, that's where you have to make a decision. You don't necessarily want to leave and double team him there.
Brent Barry called for the foul. They had to stop Christie, who was going to the basket. With 3.5 left, Bulls with just 2 team fouls, so that was one you can afford to give. Brent picked up his first. Christie drives baseline, got inside and put it in.
Well, that's the matchup that hurt the Bulls at the beginning of the game when Brent Barry was defending Doug Christie, and he allows him to go baseline and the help's not there in time. If the help's going to come baseline, it's got to come a little sooner and seal the board off where he's not able to get right to the rim.
Harp backs in, gives it back. Lang goes baseline to Randy Brown. Shot clock at 10. Toni back to Brown. Penetrates. Randy goes right to the basket and lays it in. Good move for Randy. Williams picks up his dribble on top. Oakley, a good shooter from there, missed that one. And Lang with the rebound. Good chance for the Bulls to take the lead here. Brent Barry still not in your picture. There he is. Goes by, gets it inside Lang off the glass, and it wouldn't fall, and Willis with the rebound. Out to Williams, left side Oakley, inside Kevin Willis. That's good ball movement.
It's great ball movement, but you go back to the offensive end of the floor for the Bulls. They get real nice penetration, and Brent Barry makes a terrific look-away pass. And those are the ones Andrew Lang has to finish. He's got to go to the rim strong, make that play, because all it does now is allow Toronto to get out on the break, run the floor, and Kevin Willis ends up beating him down the floor for a dunk.
Harp goes down the lane with the left hand. Toni Kukoc there to tip it in.
And when you're struggling with your shooting, those are ways to get some points. Go to the offensive boards. Nice tip in by Toni. He's just 2 of 6 from the floor, but those are the type of efforts you like to see from him.
Dee Brown with it on the left side as Christie posts up inside. Comes to the middle, looking for Oakley. It's knocked away and will belong to the Bulls. We got a timeout on the floor. 1 minute, 39 seconds left in the first half. The Bulls and the Raptors still tied, just like we started. On our Applebee's halftime report, John Kerr with Magic Michael moments. TD and Pax, how about that? We'll be here. We'll have first half highlights, maybe interviews. You never know, Pax, what we'll pull off in the halftime, will you?
Never know.
That's what I thought you'd say. Corey Benjamin checks in for the Bulls with Brent Barry, Randy Brown, Toni Kukoc, and Andrew Lang. Our next television game will be Tuesday night. The game room's at 7. Grant Hill, Bison Dele. I've been dying to say that. Will be in the United Center Tuesday night here on Fox Sports Chicago.
And the Pistons playing well. They've won 4 in a row, and at home this afternoon really put it to the New York Knicks, beating them by 20.
Joe Dumars came back, and once he did, they have played very, very well. Randy Brown with it on the wing. Bulls set a screen, try and get Toni one-on-one with Wallace. Starts to back in, finds Randy Brown. Nice pass. It wouldn't go. Lang right there. Wait a minute. No shot. loose ball foul on Andrew Lang.
Boy, that's too bad because the Bulls had good movement. Randy Brown made another nice speed cut, and they were able to find him inside. Toni Kukoc. We'd just like to see that layup go in. That's a couple now that the Bulls have missed.
Dickey Simpkins comes back. Andrew Lang was. I didn't see what he did. He must have pushed off, but I didn't see it.
Tough matchup out on the floor. You have on the weak side Corey Benjamin matched up against John Wallace.
And that's where the ball is right now. Wallace stops, fadeaway jumper is good.
The help came just a little too late. But that's good action by Toronto. They started the ball on the right side of the floor, reversed it to get to the matchup that they wanted.
Minute left. First half, 43-41. Raptors with the lead. Kukoc makes the move, kicks it baseline. Dickey Simpkins with the jumper, hit the side of the backboard. Brown looks down low. Willis looking for the post up. Instead it's on top. Williams left side. Wallace down low. Oakley fadeaway jumper. Baseline. Nope. Simpkins with the rebound. You hear Tim Floyd hollering open.
The Raptors have a foul to give.
Inside Brown, and they're trying to give it, I think, and they finally do. Dee Brown was looking right at the official, holding Randy Brown, saying, will you call the foul?
You know, I'm not sure about taking that foul. They're
a little early.
Well, and there's a 7-second difference in the shot clock, so you're going to get another possession if you hold the Bulls. But now you take the foul, and the Bulls should be able to get the last possession of the half if they run the clock right.
So you're saying you would have gotten the ball back. Now you may well not.
Right. Well, yeah. As long as the Bulls just take their time, work the clock down. But that's a situation. Just because you have a foul to give doesn't mean you have to use it. Play solid defensively, and then you're going to have a chance. You may be able to build the lead to 4 instead of having this game possibly tied if the Bulls can score.
Central Division standings. Bulls moving up 3-10 now. Toronto right above the Bulls with 1 more win, 3 less losses, so they played a lot less games is what it comes down to. A couple less. Indiana up there on top with Atlanta. Milwaukee, Detroit, who we talked about, has won 4 in a row since Joe Dumars came back. We'll see them Tuesday. 18.4 seconds left. First half of action here. Who's hot for the Toronto Raptors? Vince Carter, last 4 games. Shooting 50%, 2.3 assists. Kevin Willis and Charles Oakley combined 27.5 points. 19 rebounds.
Vince Carter's had a quiet half, just 4 points. It's been Kevin Willis and Alvin Williams, who the Bulls were kind of counting on not making perimeter shots, is 3 for 4, and 2 of those have been 3-pointers.
Randy Brown keeps it on the dribble. Miguel Knight there defensively. Brent Barry, turnaround jumper, left side, too strong. Rebound fought for, and that'll do it. We've played 1 half of basketball here at the Air Canada Center in Toronto. And the Toronto Raptors lead the Chicago Bulls 43-41. We got lots more action coming up. Bulls basketball, our halftime shows coming up. Welcome to our Applebee's halftime report. Chicago Bulls basketball on Fox Sports Chicago as the Raptors lead it at halftime 43-41 over the Chicago Bulls. And Pax, early on, Toronto dominated things, had things going pretty well inside. Then the Bulls came back and made a nice run, and they did it with some good defense and some good rebounding.
Well, they did, and they hung in there. They shot just 30% in the first half, but they got to the free throw line. I think that was one of the keys for them staying in this basketball game. They were 13 of 17. And they got some good efforts from guys. Toni Kukoc had a quiet half. He was just 2 of 6 from the floor, but Brent Barry was aggressive offensively. He had 13, and Dickey Simpkins gave him a real nice effort off the bench.
The one thing it seemed like the Bulls could have done a little bit better was help out defensively. A lot of times you said they got there just a little bit too late. Is that one of the things Tim Floyd will talk to him about, you think?
Well, and we talked about at the very beginning of this game that the Bulls' help defense would be tested because Toronto runs a lot of post-up isolations, and then they try to isolate their better athletes out on the floor. We saw that early in the game with Christie. So it's really been Willis, it was Christie early, and the Bulls' help has been a little late in coming. That's something you can address at halftime. halftime and hopefully have your rotations a little better, a little quicker when Toronto runs those things. And the important thing is defensively, you have your defense in front of your bench, so the bench can alert them to those type of things in the second half.
All right, so that's the story so far. That's what John and I have seen. When we come back, Eric Collins will talk with Toronto General Manager Glenn Grunwald, a former Chicagoan. But right now at halftime, Toronto leads the Bulls 43-40.
Chicago Bulls basketball is brought to you in part by your Chicago area Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today.
Welcome back to the Air Canada Center, where the Toronto Raptors lead the Bulls 43-41. This is our Applebee's halftime report. Eric Collins is standing by now with, okay, if the guy wasn't the greatest high school basketball player in the state of Illinois, he was the greatest power forward ever. I can vouch for that. He was my teammate in high school. Eric, take it away with Glenn Grunwald.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Tom. We'll get around to the questions about your skill level a little bit later. But first, Glenn, I want to talk about this wonderful facility, the Air Canada Center. What has this meant to this franchise having this new venue?
Well, for our fans, it's a much better place to come and watch a game than the Skydome, which was really a sort of a disaster. We had really trouble selling tickets to people a second time to come back to watch games. But right now, this is a fantastic place. We have a practice facility here. We had training camp here. I think it made a big impression with our players and helped us recruit some free agents.
A very big deal nowadays in the new complexion of the NBA. Now, a new guy on your team that has people excited here in Toronto is Vince Carter. What did you see in Vince Carter when you decided to make the trade for him on draft day?
Well, that was prearranged, and so we knew we wanted Vince as our guy. We thought he was the most talented player. He had the most talent that should become the best player possible in the draft, we felt, outside of possibly Michael Olowokandi. And he was a great person. He came in here and had a tremendous workout and really impressed the people with his personality.
Now, two other new guys on your team are two veterans, a 35-year-old and a 36-year-old, in Kevin Willis and Charles Oakley. What was the decision to bring them in? Why was that?
Well, we were the worst rebounding team in the league last year, so we wanted to improve that. But also we wanted to give our young guys a chance to win every night. You know, we know they're not going to be here for a long period of time, but I think they each have 2 or 3 or maybe 4 years for Oakley left in them so they can contribute to our team and establish some toughness and some professionalism here with our franchise.
And give it to us straight. Tom Dorr, his athletic merits as a center in high school at East Leiden High School.
He was good. We had the tallest high school team, I think, in the history of the free world, but we always came up short when it came to playoff times.
Thanks for that. That's Glenn Grunwald. Now let's go back to Tom Dorr.
That's as nice as he's been in a long time. All right, right now let's take a look at our Discover card. Payback, playback, Johnny Kerr's alongside with that. Go ahead, Reds.
Michael loved to get in the zone, but the Bulls always seem to have problems in Toronto against the pesky Raptors. But on March 24th, 1996, MJ put on his cape and shot the Bulls to another victory.
It's tied at 106, 36 seconds remain. Michael, fadeaway, tough jump. Oh, yes, a dagger!
MJ finished with 36 points, most of them coming down the stretch. And that's tonight's Discover card, payback, playback.
There were a lot of those great moments, weren't there? All right, we'll take a break and come back. Toronto Raptors lead the Bulls 43-41 at halftime. We'll come back with some stats. The Air Canada Center, Raptors lead the Bulls 43-41. This is our Applebee's halftime report. John Paxson's back alongside. Pax, let's take a look at a couple of those highlights that you picked out from the first half. What'd you see, partner?
Well, the Bulls early in the basketball game had some pretty good ball movement. The first one we're going to see is Toni Kukoc stepping in the back door. One of his 5 assists. Brent Barry gets all the way to the basket. But Toronto had good ball movement on their own. Kevin Willis on a terrific pass from Charles Oakley. Here's Brent Barry teeing up a 3. The Bulls were able to get a little penetration, and then a bailout 3 from Ron Harper, who steps well behind the three-point line to make a three-pointer. Cornell David gave him some good minutes inside, a terrific block on Doug Christie, but Toronto was able to score 10 fast break points in that first half, and that was one area that they played very well in.
All right, let's see how the Bulls can do in the second half. Right now at halftime, the Raptors lead the Bulls 43-41. A good ball game at the Air Canada Center. Second half's coming up.
Welcome back to the Air Canada Center here in Toronto, Ontario. The Bulls trail the Raptors by a score of 43-41 at halftime. I'm here with the man who put the game plan together, assistant coach Jim Woldridge. What did you guys talk about in the locker room?
Well, we're pleased with the first half, primarily because we've kept Carter from getting involved and Christie from really getting involved with this ball game. We've had a couple of guys that have scored unexpectedly against us, but Carter and Christie were two really good weapons that we've done a good job with, and we've got to the foul line. So those things, if we keep doing that and we're the aggressor offensively, we're going to have a chance in the second half.
Shooting struggling a little bit. You're shooting just 30%. Any hope?
Well, it is. You know, you never count on that from one night to the next, but we can get to the foul line every night. That's what we've done in the first half.
Thanks for stopping by.
Okay.
That's assistant coach Jim Woldridge. Now let's go back to Tom Dorr and John Paxson.
All right, nice job, Eric Collins. Good to hear what Coach has to say as the Bulls prepare for second half action. Here's our first half stats brought to you by Bud Light. Bulls made 13, Raptors made 18, but the free throws a huge difference. 13 of 17 compared to 4 of 6. 3-pointers about the same. Rebounds very close, except 4 more offensive rebounds. 6 blocks for the Raptors, and inside 26 of their 43 points. First half leading scorers: Brent Barry with 13, TK, Toni Kukoc, and Randy Brown with 8, Dickey with 7, Kevin Willis, Alvin Williams with 11 and 10, Wallace and Christie 6 and 5, and we're ready to go. Tim Floyd and Bulls bench. You heard Jim Woldridge say that they're very pleased with the first half. Like to be leading, but hey, take what you can get. We're at a beautiful new building, the Air Canada Center, and no, we didn't spell it wrong. We're in Canada, Toronto, Ontario, eh? Bulls basketball on Fox Sports Chicago. My partners, John Paxson. I'm Tom Dorr. Eric Collins is roaming around somewhere. Jim Angio, Tamara Anderson, Kathleen Monday, all the folks doing a great job in the truck. And the Bulls come out second half with one change. They're going to start Dickey Simpkins in place of Andrew Lang. He has the assignment of Kevin Willis. Carter goes right side. Inside Oakley. Throws it on top Williams, and he almost lost it. Vince Carter starts to drive. Gives it back. Williams puts up a long deuce. And it's in and out. Simpkins with the rebound.
Made a couple of those in the first half, but again, that's the shot that you want to give up. The Bulls a real good defensive stand the very first possession of the half. We talked about it. They have their defense in front of their bench here in this second half, and that will allow the coaches to alert the players on the floor to what's coming.
Carter called for the hold. Hey fans, enter the Bulls sweepstakes for your chance to win a lot of great prizes. Just fill out the entry form, the back of Bulls tickets or pocket schedules for your chance to win. Kukoc goes on top. Back to Harp. Miguel Knight gets ready to check back in. He played the very end of the first half. Brent Barry starts to drive. Got it up with a left hand. How about that? Backs, you'll take them when they go in, right?
A tough shot, and they give a little isolation on that side, and Brent was able to score in traffic.
Williams goes on top for Vince Carter. Christie finds Oakley. Oakley baseline jumper. Too long, and Simpkins there with the rebound again.
And you can live with that. If they're going to try to post up Charles Oakley, Toni has the length to challenge that shot when he does face up, because he's really not a back to the basket type of player. And so now you can take care of the defensive boards as well. And the Bulls a real good start to this second half as Toni drains a long shot.
Oakley one bounce finds Christie. Carter spins in the lane, hangs, puts it up, and rebound Willis puts it in. Almost goaltending, I thought.
Now, Dickey came over at the last minute to challenge that shot by Carter, and Willis ran right to the front of the boards. But again, we see what Toronto tries to do, a lot of isolation where guys on the weak side end up kind of standing. So the Bulls one-on-one defense pretty good. Now you just have to take care of the boards.
Randy Brown has it, now backs it out. Shot clock at 7. Toni with it. With Oakley on him. Shot clock at 3, at 2. Toni, tough fadeaway jumper, bounces, missed it. How about Randy Brown, right place, right time?
Second time in this game that he's hung around the offensive boards and come up with a score. But you know, you don't want to settle for those isolation moves where Toni has to now try to do something. The Bulls need to get into their offense a little bit quicker. They did a good job moving the ball in the first half when they were able to set up.
Bulls with some second chance points now. Toronto still leads that 8-4 as Willis missed that. And Harp with the rebound. Harp with a little smile on his face as he lobs it inside. Barry for the slam. How about that?
Good read, and that's one of the advantages to when you run the floor and you run wide and deep to the basket. Sometimes you'll catch the defense napping. A real good recognition play by Harper and Barry.
A full timeout called by the Raptors. The Bulls have come out, played very well here. An 8-2 run for the Bulls. Start the third. The Bulls lead it by 4. 49-45 Bulls. Just over 9 minutes left in the third. And packs a nice pass.
Well, they've had good effort and activity. Brent Barry ran the floor wide and right to the rim. And Ron Harper saw him. You see Toronto, they don't get turned and matched. Brent Barry 2 baskets here to begin the second half, and solid game for Brent Barry. 7 of 14 from the floor. He has 17.
Good recognition, good job of pushing the basketball up the floor. Vince Carter comes out now as Nigel Knight comes in.
Nigel Knight, a guy that hasn't gotten a lot of time, but we've seen Alvin Williams didn't make that first 3-pointer, so Butch Carter goes to his bench early.
Lob pass down low for Willis. Jump hook. Nope. Oakley fights for the offensive rebound. It's on the floor. He got it. It's loose again. And Brent Barry pushes up the floor now. Barry goes on top for Brown. Back right side for Brent Barry. He wants Kukoc to step out on the floor, and that's what Toni does. He's one-on-one with Oakley. Goes baseline. Oakley 2 hands to the chest, and he'll be called for a hold. There's Nigel Knight.
Went to the University of Dayton.
Oh. Why is that important?
That's where I'm from.
I know. I just thought we'd let everybody know that.
Dayton, Ohio, not the University of
Sure,
Dayton.
I understand.
That's my dad and my brother.
An ND guy through and through. Harp backs his way in. Nice move by Harp. And an offensive foul call. No, Pax. I don't know that I buy that call. There was some contact, but
yep.
And Tim Floyd was kind of saying the same thing. Knight, top of the circle, finds Oakley. Williams looking for Doug Christie. Finally gets it to him, and then Harper gets called for the foul at Harp. I love Harp when he does that. Thursday, March 11th, Bulls take on the Sonics. It's ComEd Hat Night. First 10,000 fans in the United Center receive a Bulls hat. Compliments of ComEd. Harp will get that real high voice and say, "What, me?"
Well, Vince Carter out of the game early, so you have a small guard lineup in for Toronto. Really look on the floor. They're going to try to post Christie. They like that matchup. You also have Willis out on the floor. Christie does a nice job there of just stepping off the block and facing up Ron Harper for the shot.
Christie, a guy that's been moved around an awful lot, Pax. Is there a knock on him? Brown goes inside.
Well, you know, he came into the league as a guy labeled as having a ton of talent. He's going to have to grow into the game. I mean, he had a real solid year last year, and he's come out strong. He hasn't shot the ball real well to begin the season, but he's very talented. And you know, at that spot on the floor, and especially a team like Toronto that likes to run a lot of isolation things, they can use him in those type of matchups.
Williams with it on the left side. Nice game for Simpkins. 9 points, 8 rebounds. Williams again. Christie trying to post up. Harp doing everything he can to keep him out of where he wants to be. Down low, Willis, turnaround jump shot. And Ron Harper's doing it all right now.
Well, the Bulls defense is solid, and we've had a couple possessions for Toronto here in the half where the shot clock has been winding down. The Bulls have stood their ground defensively, and Toronto right now is trying to search for something to get them going offensively.
Doug Christie, how about a player profile of him? Tell you a little bit about it. Last game, 16 points, 9 assists, 7 rebounds. Third on the team in scoring, 15 a game. Longest serving Toronto Raptor. They've made a lot of changes, a ton of changes, and I don't think they're done. Christie, crossover move, gives it back to Nigel Knight. Long deuce on the way, front of the rim, and it bounces home. Nigel Knight makes it 51-49. Bulls with the lead. Kukoc turns, takes the long jumper, and Toni hits that. That was all net.
Got off to a slow start, struggling with his shot early in the basketball game, but got a little rhythm to it right now.
Bulls with 3 players in double figures. Randy Brown's got 10, Kukoc with 12, and Brent Barry with 17. Knight finds Willis. Simpkins there defensively. Brown comes over to help. They find Oakley inside, and there's not much you can do.
Now you talk about the balance. The Bulls have had much better balance in the last 4 or 5 games. Oftentimes 3 and 4 in double figures, and I think that is a product of a little better recognition offensively, knowing where your shots are going to come from. and you're getting real good production. Randy Brown has played solid over the last 5 games. Another double-figure game for him here tonight.
Brown finds Dickey Simpkins for the slam. It was a nice pass inside to Randy, and then he realized he was inside with the trees, but somebody had to be open, and it was Dickey.
Well, Randy recognized that his man went to double, so he just made a direct cut to the basket, and that forced the defense then to rotate over, and he was unselfish enough to find the open man for the easy score.
Good job. Dickey did not allow Willis, and traveling call before the offensive foul. See that last basket patch.
Well, here you see Randy just slip. There's the double team. There's the help, and you see poor interior defense by Toronto as they had no one at the basket.
55-51, Bulls with the lead. Harp with it on the left side. Right side for Kukoc. Toni starts to drive, got cut off, goes inside. Dickey Simpkins got it, counted, and the foul by Simpkins.
It looked like the Bulls wanted to bring Toni Kukoc across the floor to a post-up position, but he just stepped back and then penetrated to the baseline. And what Dickey Simpkins is doing a nice job is just making himself available in the paint. The help comes. Kevin Willis is cheating off of Dickey, and the Bulls have good spacing on the floor, so that middle of the floor is open. Dickey doing a good job recognizing where those open spots are, and the Bulls are moving the basketball. That's really the key in this whole thing.
Cornell David comes in. Ron Harper leaves, so the Bulls get much bigger.
Well, and Tim Floyd over the last 4 or 5 games, when Brent Barry was coming off the bench, was trying to substitute him in at about the 6-minute mark to get Harp some rest off the floor. Now Cornell David, a lot of activity in the first half. He's able to do that with him. Harp's going to get his rest.
Oakley sets the high screen roll with Christie, who steps back out on the floor. Christie stops, tough fadeaway jumper. Kevin Willis there, missed that. Dickey Simpkins with a rebound. It's knocked away by Christie. Toni Kukoc comes up with it. Kukoc gets it ahead. Randy Brown thought about the 3, but didn't take it. Barry was driving through the lane. Cornell David wants to go to the basket. Christie knocked it away. Out to Brown, and the Bulls will set up the offense now. Simpkins comes up high, fakes the pass to Kukoc. Baseline Randy Brown, 5 on the shot clock. Randy Brown got it, and he's fouled.
Well, and see, that sequence started. They had a little penetration, but even when they kicked it back out and recognized, let's get in our offense, there was still 13 on the shot clock. So they were able to run a series of cuts, and again, the extra pass of Brent Barry moved it on toward the baseline. They run a little weave out, and there's just a quick pass. And Randy Brown is shooting the basketball with a lot of confidence.
Pax, I think that's a great point, because Randy, the last, 4 or 5 games, something like that, has just been an offensive threat. Dee Brown comes in as Evan Williams leaves. Rusty LaRue will check in for Randy Brown when he can. But Randy Brown has been a different player. He's getting some better looks, I think, and getting more in the flow of the offense, and he's taking good shots.
And everyone has to be a participant in this offense. You know where your shots are coming from, and Randy should know that, being in the system for several years. But again, so much of this offense comes down to being able to move the basketball on. And Brent Barry, that's one of the things he does real effectively, those quick passes to open shooters.
Willis, baseline jumper, bounces off, and Toni Kukoc with a rebound. Bulls their biggest lead.
And I'll live with isolations like Toronto's trying to do right now. The Bulls are able to play them. They're missing the shots, and you're limiting them to 1 shot, and now you're doing good things on the offensive end.
Simpkins with it down low. Bulls cut across. Looking for Kukoc, and it's tapped back. 6 on the shot clock. 5. Barry put it up, puts the second one up front of the rim, and Simpkins with a rebound, and a good decision by Dickey. He didn't force the action, bring it back out, and reset. He had no advantage where he was.
And there's a little sequence there. The Bulls are going to have to recognize Toronto switching a screen in the lane, and they almost cost him on a steal there.
Simpkins bounces it to Cornell David, gets it back Randy Brown. Shot clock at 7 at 6. Toni for 3, got it left side. How about this Bulls run? 64-51.
And you just see a little bounce in their step. They're looking for their shot, very aggressive, and what a great third quarter, at least the first 9 minutes of the third quarter for the Bulls.
A 13-2 Bulls run. 3:16 left in the third, and the Bulls lead Toronto 64-51. These guys are fun to watch. Welcome back to the Air Canada Center. Bulls lead at 64-51.
Tim Floyd decided to start Dickey Simpkins to begin the second half, and that move is paying dividends as Dickey has made himself available. 7 points, 4 rebounds in the third quarter. He's getting a rest now on the bench in place of Andrew Lang.
Wallace fadeaway jumper is no good. Bulls have got a nice run going now. 13-2 in the last just under 4 minutes. Pax, the thing I think I like as much as anything else is they're moving the basketball so well.
And they're moving themselves, too. They're cutting hard. They're setting people up on the screens. And like I said before the timeout, a little bounce to their step in this third quarter.
Doug Christie picks up his second. That's the 5th team foul. So Cornell David will go to the free throw line. I said a minute ago, these guys are fun to watch. This has been a fun basketball game.
Well, and the other thing that they've done well in this quarter is they're limiting Toronto to one shot, doing a great job on the boards, out-rebounding Toronto 36-27. This is a team that has out-rebounded 9 of their first 11 opponents.
Tuesday, March 2nd, Bulls take on the Pistons. It's Fox Sports Chicago Hat Night. First 10,000 fans in the United Center will receive a Bulls hat. Compliments of Fox Sports Chicago. I will ask Jim Corner to come down and bring us our own hats. See if the boss will do that. 66-51, Bulls with the lead. Miguel Knight with it left side, goes down low to Wallace. Back to Knight. Inside. Knight puts up 3, left wing, in and out, and Andrew Lang with a rebound. That's the rebounding you're talking about.
Well, and Toronto just standing on the perimeter, so the Bulls are able to load up on the post play. They drop it inside. Rusty LaRue right there to sink in the lap of Kevin Willis or John Wallace twice. And they kick it back out, and that's a shot that the Toronto guards are going to have to make if the Bulls are going to play that way.
Cornell David from 17 hits the jumper. They came off of David to try and double team, and he made them pay. 37-27 rebounds. But how about 68-51 Bulls with just over 2 minutes left here in the third period. Baseline, Miguel Knight finds Willis, puts it up, and he got fouled.
See, that time Toronto moved Miguel Knight to the other side of the floor. They brought Dee Brown, a shooter, as the entry passer. Bulls didn't want to leave him, so they brought Rusty LaRue from all the way across the floor to double team. So now you had a little movement. They recognized that. Miguel Knight got to the basket, and they finally got some penetration, something they haven't had much of here in the third quarter.
Willis goes to the free throw line. First one is good. Bill Winnington's up off the bench. Vince Carter comes back. Miguel Knight will lead. Told you that Carter tested higher than anybody else in the recent NBA draft as far as athletic skills. Talking to the Toronto people, and they said that Dean Smith's comment was that he's either the best or the second best athlete he ever had. You have 3 guesses who the other guy is.
Yeah, right.
that he's talking about.
But you know, they've had some terrific athletes go through North Carolina outside of Michael, so that's a pretty strong statement.
Yeah, that's what I thought. No, Ange, it wasn't James Worthy. The guy named Jordan. Kukoc backs his way in, spins, tough shot. Christie played that well, but how about Barry? Gets it right back. Toni inside, Cornell. David got it. How about it? Just as the buzzer goes off.
They're hustling their way into points. That was not a good offensive possession. Toni took a tough shot in a one-on-one move, but Brent Barry kept moving without the basketball, and so did Cornell David. They get 2 points out of it.
70-53, Dee Brown along 3 hits.
Now the Bulls go underneath that screen, and this is not a team, Toronto, that runs a lot of screen and rolls. We see most teams run a high number of screen and rolls every night. We see very few with this team, but Rusty LaRue went under. Dee Brown's a real good shooter. He can line that shot up.
LaRue with the top of the circle looking for Toni. Comes off the screen. Rusty right side goes down low. Bulls got a mismatch somewhere. How about that? Rusty will take that 3 back to the rim. Rebound tapped, and Kevin Willis comes out with it. Throws it ahead to Vince Carter. Carter one-on-one with Barry. Runs over Brent Barry. Puts it up. Nope. Rebound. Wallace will pick up the foul. They got him for the push on Bill Winnington. Toni Kukoc talking to Rusty LaRue, says, hey, just keep shooting the ball. Don't worry about it.
That shot's available. The double team came. That's the shot Rusty made last night against Charlotte. So he's got to continue to look for it if it comes out of those type of situations. For the Bulls now, you want to finish the last 43 seconds of the quarter strong. You've had a terrific quarter. You've been active, playing well offensively and terrific defensively, but you don't want to let it slip here where Toronto can get this lead back under double figures here to start the fourth.
Corey Benjamin will check in for the Bulls. Bill Winnington with a pair. Winnington's first on the way and good. Eric Collins, what's shaking, buddy?
Yeah, guys, you're talking about how Vince Carter had a basketball scholarship to North Carolina. Well, did you know he actually turned down a couple scholarship offers to be a marching band participant? He was a really good marching band guy for 4 years in high school. His father was the band director in high school, and he actually had a couple scholarships to be in a marching band in college. but he chose basketball instead, like you guys.
He's made more money with this, I'm sure.
That would be considered a good career decision.
Yeah. I go along with that. Christie drives inside, kicks it out to the corner. Brown for three. No. Brent Barry high for the rebound. Pushes it up the floor. Barry drives in, no look pass, got it back, saved it, and then Benjamin tried to save it out of bounds. A little too much. Too cute. Easy, just easy passes.
Well, you have to look at the clock. There was 30 seconds when Brent got possession of the basketball, and that's what we're talking about. You had a chance to go up 18, and now with the clock under 24, Toronto can wait and hold the basketball and try to get a shot. That's just a decision that you have to make on the fly. And you know, if it's one thing if you can get a real quick score, but Brent tried to throw that one around his neck, and that's too tough a play.
Bulls do not have a foul to give. LaRue is right there. Wallace puts a 10-footer up and good. 6 seconds left. Got time for a shot, but the Bulls have to hurry. LaRue pushes it up. 2 seconds. 1 second. If it goes, no, not quite. Corey Benjamin, a great follow, but it didn't count. We have played 3 periods here at the new Air Canada Center in Toronto, and the Chicago Bulls lead the Raptors 72-58. Fourth quarter's coming up. United Airlines third quarter summary. Through the ballgame, Bulls have made 1 more third quarter, though Bulls made 6 more. 4 less turnovers, and third quarter turnovers just 2, Pax.
Cornell David came in the last 3 minutes of the third quarter, gave a nice boost, hit a jumper on a nice pass from Toni Kukoc out. And then here, just some activity on a great pass from Kukoc to recognize shot clock winding down. Cornell David with a strong.
And there's the Cornell David fan club. David, King of Hungary, is what that says. They got guys up there with the flags and the whole bit. That's terrific. Rusty LaRue picks up his dribble, goes on top. Corey Benjamin, right side for Barry. Cornell David with a post up. All right, see if he can get something done here. Fakes in the lane, left hand. How about that? He scores right on cue.
Now the Bulls, a terrific third quarter, outscoring Toronto 31-15, and they had 12 field goals in that quarter, 9 assists. So that just demonstrates how well they did move the basketball as a team.
Bulls shoot at 60% in the third. Wallace inside, puts the jumper up and home. John Wallace makes it 74-60. Barry brings it left side. LaRue bounces to Winnington. Billy fadeaway jump shot on the way back to the rim. Rebound fought for, and a foul against Toronto. Wednesday night on Fox Sports Chicago. Go for a little trip as the game room takes you aboard the Bulls team plane. That's the game room Wednesday at 5:30 on Fox Sports Chicago. Do we spoil their fun and tell them who conducted the tour, do you think? Maybe we won't. You will have to tune in. It will be a very interesting tour. I can promise you that as Bulls team plane. Rusty LaRue. And Vince Carter had a hold of Ron Harper's jersey.
That, I believe, is his 5th foul.
Yep.
It's just not a very wise move. You can grab somebody. He's complained that Harp had a hold of him.
He says, look at my jersey. It's out. Do you see why I did it? All right, let's see. Okay, well. Retaliation is the one that's always seen in basketball, wouldn't it, Pax?
Yeah, absolutely.
David goes baseline to Harp. Corey Benjamin was looking for a lob. Instead, Cornell David goes inside, goes up strong. Rebound fought for. Wallace gets it, kicks it out to Doug Christie. Carter with it down low. Backs his way in against Benjamin, whose jumper in the lane, bounces in.
Well, he's just too strong for Corey Benjamin, but the Bulls did have 4 guys around Carter when he took that shot. He just had the nice soft touch on the front of the rim.
LaRue, top of the circle, finds David. Gives it right back to Rusty, and Cornell David called for the offensive foul. I don't know what he did.
I'm not sure about that. He must have been moving when he handed the ball off and tried to re-screen for Rusty LaRue. You don't want to let this game now get out of hand. The Bulls played so solidly, and I think Tim Floyd recognizes that immediately. Kukoc and Randy Brown pop off the bench.
Dee Brown goes on top. Doug Christie with the jumper hits. Now it's back to a 10-point game. Bulls were at biggest lead was 17, so Toronto's cutting right back into that. And the Bulls want a 20-second timeout. They want to get these guys in. So Tim Floyd calls a quick timeout. Oh, now they're saying it'll be a full timeout. Okay, full timeout. 9:55 left. 74-64. Bulls with the lead. We'll come back. Bulls fans, tickets for every Chicago Bulls home game are now on sale. To purchase tickets, visit the United Center box office, Ticketmaster outlets, or call 312-559-1212. Eric Collins, what's up? Well, we couldn't get you Eric. We'll get him in just a second. Toni Kukoc with it at the free throw line. Starts to back his way in. Toni spins, goes into the lane. Had it partially blocked, and Vince Carter gets the rebound. Gets it out to Wallace. Ahead, puts it up and missed it. Rebound loose. Simpkins fought for it. Out of bounds. Bulls ball. They really got away from one. Eric Collins, let's try him again.
Yeah, guys, Tim Floyd made a big deal in the huddle of saying, guys, we got the lead by making the extra pass. Let's go back to making 3 or 4 passes, giving the offense a chance to make it work. Back to you guys.
Bax, you want to say something, too.
No, that last possession, the Bulls, again, Toni Kukoc trying to go one-on-one. They have to stay in their offense, make the passes and the high-energy cuts that really got them this lead. They moved the basketball real well.
So the turnover story a second ago. Harp now wants to go inside for Kukoc with Christie on him. Toni backs, picks it up on top. Harp, big 3 on the way, front of the rim, no good. Loose ball, out of bounds, went off Cornell David last. It'll belong to the Raptors.
Yeah, one of the interesting things that Butch Carter has done is left Vince Carter out on the floor with the 5 fouls. He's going to have to be careful, but showing some confidence in the young player. He knows he needs him on the floor.
Wallace has it down low with Kukoc on him. Backs his way in, just muscling inside that fadeaway jumper. Bax, that's a hard shot to stop. What do you do? How do you get somebody out of that?
Well, he likes to turn toward his left shoulder and shoot that fadeaway, so you can't defend him on his shooting hand. The Bulls may have to come a little bit quicker to take the ball out of his hands.
Randy Brown, tough jumper. Cornell David tapped it. It wouldn't stay down. And here comes Toronto now. 74-66 is the Bulls lead. Christie for 3. Hit the top of the iron, and Cornell David. And the Bulls wanted a foul called as David. It looked like he tried to go for the rebound and was held.
Well, here you see the one-on-one action of Wallace in the post, and he likes to turn over that left shoulder, shooting that fadeaway. That's too deep right there. That's when you got to come. Randy Brown just a little bit late, not able to get a piece of the ball.
Carter in the lane, fadeaway jumper, bounces twice, nope, loose rebound, picked up by Toni Kukoc. Finds Randy Brown. Kukoc stops, open 3 on the way, a very quick shot. Harp there for the rebound, fadeaway jumper, nope. Kukoc got the rebound, put that one up, had it blocked, and Wallace gets that. It all started from a bad shot by Toni.
And he was drifting on that shot. He never even got his feet set.
Now Dee Brown for 3, in and out, and the Bulls get away again.
Well, unfortunately, now Toronto's taken 2 quick shots in transition. 1 of 3 by Christie on the right side, this one by Dee Brown. And if those had gone in, those would have been real momentum helpers for Toronto. They don't, but the Bulls need to get something offensively right now, and they've lost that thrust into their offense, and now they're struggling against shot clock virtually every possession.
Kukoc drives in and throws it to a fan in the first row, and the Bulls are a little upset with the way things are going.
They're not settled offensively, and they've gotten away from the things that got them the big lead, and that was getting into the offense quickly, good ball movement, and some strong cuts.
Dee Brown fakes the 3, doesn't take it. 7:10 left, 74-66 Bulls. Illegal defense called on Dickey Simpkins. How's the free throw story? Pretty strong for the Bulls, 19 of 23. Raptors just 6 of 8. And now another one of these is going to be for an illegal defense.
Well, Toronto is a team that coming into this game was averaging 30 free throw attempts a game. So the Bulls have defended well without fouling, and that is always a big plus. Tim Floyd has made a big emphasis on trying to get to the free throw line more than your opponent. The Bulls haven't been as successful throughout the early part of the season, but tonight, and it started early. Great job of getting to the free throw line early in this basketball game.
Bulls are hollering screen down, and there was the screen. And here's a single double, they call it. A single screen on one side, double screen on the other behind the back. Oakley put it up and a foul called, and the Bulls can't believe that call. Tim Floyd comes out to question the official.
A little anticipation by the official. You know, Charles Oakley's not a guy that's going to get up to the basket. He's going to try to throw his body into you, and that's what he looked like he was trying to do, was draw the foul. Nice little behind the back pass by Christie. We'll see if there's any contact. He said he got hit on the head. Doesn't look like it from that angle.
Nope. Oakley hits the first. He'll get one more. See if this angle looks any different.
No, that's not. Dickey did not hit him, and again, Charles was trying to lean in to draw the foul.
74-68 now as Brent Barry gets up. 74-69. Barry goes to sit back down now. And the Bulls want a timeout. An 11-2 Raptors run with 7 minutes left has put Toronto right back in the game. 7 minutes left here in Toronto. 74-69. Bulls with the lead. Coming up after Live in the Locker Room on Fox Sports News, well, the Michael Jordan interview you may want to hear. Dennis Rodman against Scottie Pippen. That was a good ball game in L.A. today. And the Heat against the Magic. We'll have all of that coming up after Live in the Locker Room here on Fox Sports Chicago. Toni Kukoc with it on the left side. 10 in the shot clock. Kukoc starts to back in against Wallace. Spins, goes baseline. Toni puts it up. Nope. Rebound. Oakley's got it.
A little confusion coming out of the timeout. So again, the Bulls end up in that one-on-one isolated situation with Toni, and they're not getting anything out of it, and they're not getting any offensive rebounds either.
Christie, top of the circle. Dee Brown looks inside. Finally goes inside Wallace with 4 on the shot clock. Stops. Quick jumper. Wallace left side. Nope. Rebound loose, and Charles Oakley's got it out to Vince Carter. On top, Dee Brown for 3. Rebound, Carter. Terrific rebound and a follow.
And there's the athleticism that we haven't seen much of in this game, but he got up on that rebound. And right now, all the momentum to Toronto. They're coming up with the hustle points. Started a couple extra shots that time as Charles Oakley kept it alive the first time.
Second chance points, 11-10, so not many for either team.
See, here the Bulls go again, one-on-one. They're going to get bailed out because Doug Christie reached in, but that's not getting into their offense and trying to pick this Toronto team apart. Too much one-on-one.
Bulls wanted 2 shots. Watch this rebound.
Now you see the Bulls just kind of turn their heads and not take care of any body on the defensive boards. Vince Carter, you give him a run at the basket like that, he's going to be able to make that play.
Brent Barry with Oakley on him. Randy Brown goes inside for Kukoc. Toni spins, baseline, shot off the glass. No. Dickey with the follow. Wow! What a terrific follow slam for Dickey Simpkins.
Boy, the Bulls need that. That comes off of a tough shot by Kukoc, but we just said they weren't getting offensive rebounds. Dickey, a nice job of attacking the basket. 16 points, 10 rebounds in the basketball game.
A double-double for Simpkins. Oakley goes left side for Christie. Christie backs his way in. Kukoc over to help. Christie tough jumper, got it.
They allowed him to split the help that time and get to the middle, and that was one of the points of emphasis for the Bulls in this game. Keep Toronto's post players out of the middle of the floor. We've seen it with John Wallace in the second half, and now Doug Christie able to turn inside the lane and get that shot off.
He's got 12 points. Barry goes down low for Toni. Kukoc spins in the lane, and Christie will pick up the foul. Dickey Simpkins with a good ball game.
Now the shot clock winding down as Toni Kukoc tries a spin move back to the baseline. In a one-on-one situation, you see Dickey just follow it in. And that's a strong finish in traffic for Dickey Simpkins.
Randy Brown goes on top for Kukoc. Let's see if the Bulls can get something going to the basket here. Brown comes off the screen, goes right side Hart. He'll take a 3, right wing very short, and the rebound pulled down by Wallace. Out to Dee Brown, 76-73, Bulls with the lead. Brown gives it right back to Oakley on top for Brown. Off the screen, Dee Brown on top Oakley. Ball fake, drives in, finds Brown, long deuce, Dee Brown, nope. Ron Harper with another rebound. Harper with his 8th rebound, 3 assists and 5 points. Harper hadn't shot it very well, but he's done a lot of other things. Rebound story as Doug Christie saw that pass coming, drives inside, no shot, a foul call.
And a little miscommunication in the offense. It looked like Randy Brown thought Brent Barry was going to come in a little closer on that backside, and Barry started to step out, so that pass was thrown to the inside of Brent Barry, right where the defense was, and a turnover results, and Randy Brown picks up the foul. You see Barry stepping out, and Randy Brown thought he was going to be inside a little closer to the lane area. Bulls a turnover.
Ron Harper knocks it away out of bounds with 18 on the shot clock, 3:47 left. The Bulls lead at 76-73.
And that's the thing, the Bulls still lead this basketball game. They just need to settle down now and offensively get into their offense and get a little better ball movement. Right now they're settling for some quick things.
Wallace, tough shot, nope, rebound loose. Brent Barry comes away with it. Barry still fighting, has it knocked away by Christie. It'll be out of bounds, Bulls ball. Randy Brown goes right by Charles Oakley. Bulls call out the play. Two guards start high for Brown. Harper right side. Kukoc comes down low, trying to get position. Randy Brown now will take a jumper with 1 on the shot clock, and Vince Carter with the rebound. That was a tough possession for the Bulls. They never got anything going.
They're not flowing into the offense quickly like we saw them do in the third quarter. That's really hurting them because now they're winding up with shot clock winding down, having to take a perimeter shot.
Carter with it in the corner. And a foul call before the shot. Randy Brown will pick up the personal foul. We got a timeout. Timeout on the floor. 2 minutes, 53 seconds left. The Bulls lead over the Raptors is down to 3. Bulls lead it by 3, and Dickey Simpkins is our Chevrolet player of the game. Dickey with 16 points, 5 of 9 from the field. He's also got 10 rebounds. Dickey Simpkins is our Chevrolet player of the game. Vince Carter will trigger the inbound pass. Bulls, by the way, with 4 players in double figures. Carter goes on top for Dee Brown. Christie finds Oakley, who goes in, and he was fouled. Ron Harper said, I didn't foul him, and the official said, no, but Dickey Simpkins did.
Good execution by Toronto coming out of the timeout. They run a back screen for Dee Brown. The Bulls step out with their big man to help out, so Charles Oakley just slips to the basket. They read it well. The middle of the floor was open. He's going to get a couple free throws. And Charles, the guy coming into this game, was 22 of 24 from the free throw line. He's 2 of 4 tonight.
It's the first. He's got 1 more. A 2-point ball game with 2:45 remaining. A 1-point game. 76-75, and let's see what the Bulls run now. Kukoc with it on the right side. Down low. Quick pass in. Ron Harper shot very short. Rebound fought for. And a blocking foul on Ron Harper.
And Harp short armed that one, and that was an opportunity because Vince Carter took a gamble defensively and overplayed that pass, and Harper just about 7 or 8 feet from the basket. You see him just short arms that one, didn't follow through with his shot, and left it well short of the rim.
Players ask for a little participation from the fans and get it here. Dee Brown goes to the free throw line.
He steps about a good half a foot off the free throw line to take his shots. It's unusual that he'll start that far back. That's usually a sign of a guy who shoots it long, so he's trying to give himself a little better feel. But that's very unusual for a guard like Dee Brown. That means he's thinking about his shot a lot. Showed on that one as he left it to the right.
You want to get as close to that line. You want to lean over the line. You want to do anything you can to make that shot shorter. Kukoc and Wallace will be called for the hand check. And that'll be 5 on Toronto, so Toni will go to the line for a pair, and this could be a nice possession for the Bulls just to get free throws.
Well, the Bulls ran the same action that Toronto did coming out of that timeout, a little back screen, and Dickey Simpkins, the guy setting the screen, was open. The Bulls made the pass a little too quick to Toni. They can read that a little bit better. Dickey Simpkins may find himself open at the basket.
We saw Toronto 6 of 16 from the floor. Bulls just 2 field goals this period as Toni hits the first.
And these are their first free throws of the quarter as well. So they just lost all the momentum that they had and how well the offense was working for them. And that attack to the basket left them as well. But now Toni on a little penetration gets to the free throw, and Toronto is in the penalty.
Just like Oakley served just a second ago. Free throw split by Kukoc. 77-76 coming up on 2 minutes left. Dee Brown comes higher on the screen roll. His 3 back to the rim. Oakley fought for it, and Randy Brown comes away with it.
Dee Brown has gotten some real good looks in this quarter. Fortunately for the Bulls, he's not shooting it well. 2 of 10 in the game.
Toni goes on top. Inside Simpkins. Dickey spins, jump hook short. Randy, how about that?
Well, there's
Ron
that
Harper.
There's that slip on the back screen, and Dickey got inside, and Harp just kept coming. And you mentioned a few minutes ago, Tom, the fact that Harp's done a great job on the boards. He's in double-figure rebounds with 11 in the game.
Christie comes inside, fadeaway jumper in the lane. Nope. Randy Brown with the rebound. So the guard's doing a nice job. He's got 9 rebounds. Harp with 11. Brent Barry with 10. Those 3 guys doing a terrific job on the backboards for the Bulls.
Well, and that's what they have to do. The Bulls started this game with a small lineup. Toni Kukoc at the 4 spot, and your 3 players, your 1, 2, and 3, combined 30 rebounds in this basketball game.
Bulls run a screen roll. Barry, shot clock at 2 at 1, and it was in and out. A 3 for Harp. Again, a bad shot for the Bulls. Dee Brown slows it down, finds Christie, had it blocked out of bounds with 18 on the shot clock. It'll belong to Toronto with just under a minute left, and they want a timeout. See if they take a 20 or a full timeout by Toronto. 59.6 left. The Bulls lead the Raptors 79-76 here in Toronto. The producer director for Chicago Bulls basketball and Fox Sports Chicago is James A. Angio. Associate producer Tamara Anderson. Assistant director is Kathleen Monday. And our production manager is Moheen Ramsey. All right, Pax, a minute left. Toronto's going to throw the ball inbound.
They've had a lot of success with John Wallace in the second half. They might try to take advantage of that matchup. Toni Kukoc is guarding him.
Pretty good call, Pax. That's just what they did.
They ran a little back screen and then moved it right into the lane. They had nice spacing on the floor, and Wallace was able to catch it right off the lane and make a strong move.
Field goal percentage, first half, second half. And now the Bulls want a timeout. Full timeout by the Bulls. 51 and a half seconds left. 79-78. Bulls with the lead. Stretch runs coming up. Bulls with a full timeout and a 20 left. Toronto has 2 fulls and a 20 with 51.6 seconds left.
There's Dickey Simpkins just doing a nice job playing off the basketball. Toronto doesn't block him out. He goes right to the front of the rim. Now in this possession, Bulls need a good possession here. Try to get something going to the basket. If you can get to the free throw line, that's great, but they need a good shot out of this sequence.
Kukoc steps out on the floor. Tries to go by Christie, now goes down low. Dee Brown over to double team. Kukoc in all kinds of trouble, and a holding foul, and Toni will go to the line with 38.7 seconds left, and Butch Carter kicks the scorer's table in disgust.
Well, the Bulls get lucky because Toni was in a position where he was going to have to try to do something to bail him out. You see the double team, and Randy Brown didn't recognize it and fill in and make himself available so Toni could give him a relief pass, but they just grab him. Bulls are able to get to the free throw line. Now Toni has to make him pay.
Now it's a 2-point ball game, and Pex, I think the key when you talk to your point guard is to say, if a guy's in trouble, it's your job to be open and go get the ball.
Well, especially when it's your man that ran off the double team, you got to come and make yourself available so they can throw it to you, and Randy could then try to create something.
All right, we got another timeout. 38.7 seconds left now. The Bulls lead the Raptors 81-78 here in Toronto.
Introducing Fox Sports Chicago's Bulls analysts. John Paxson, 2,153 career assists. Norm Van Leer, 3,676. John, 468 career steals. Norm, 724. John has 3 championship rings. Norm and Pax, on your home for the Chicago Bulls. Fox Sports Chicago.
81-78. Bulls with the lead, 38.7 seconds left. Pat, let's talk about Toronto a little bit. What last time down the floor you said you thought they'd go to Willis and try and establish him down low again. What would you expect them to do this time?
I'd look for them to go to the same place if the Bulls have that matchup. They're going to have to look on the floor and see who's guarding Willis. It looks like it's going to be Toni Kukoc. They got him in deep the last time down. That was off a baseline out of bounds play. Now the Bulls probably understand that coming out of the timeout. They're going to have something set up, maybe a double team, and then rotate out to some shooters. Dee Brown, remember this game, getting shots, but he's just 2 of 9 from the floor.
Now the Bulls switch, and Tony's going to guard Oakley. Dickey Simpkins will have Willis.
Yeah, that's a real good move. They disguised it well coming out of the timeout, and that's where they're going to go, to John Willis.
Willis with it on top, goes right side. Dee Brown, quick three is good.
Well, they ran a back screen and executed it well. And in end-of-game situations like that, and you're down 3, you tend to want to switch those type of things because you know they're going to play for the 3, make them take a drive to the basket and still have the lead. But that shows great confidence in a veteran player like Dee Brown who can shoot it from distance. Here you're going to see it. They set it up. It looks like John Willis. Here's the back screen. That's a perfect opportunity for Brent Barry to switch out aggressively. He's hesitant in his move out to Dee Brown, and that allows him to line the shot up and knock it in. So there wasn't real good communication between he and Randy Brown on that back screen. You got to come out aggressively and try to run him off that line or challenge the shot.
Well, I think that's what you and I have talked about a lot of different guys. When you've got a guy that you know is a weapon out there, that he can hit that 3, you know you got to stay on him. Remember the Milwaukee game at the very end, guys were hesitant to leave and help out when Glenn Robinson drove to the basket because they knew that Del Curry and that kind of guy is out there. But at any point in time, you've got to be very cautious and aware of where those kind of guys are.
Yeah, and that's communication defensively. That's talking to one another. And those are 2 veteran players. I mean, that's Randy Brown and Brent Barry out there who didn't call the switch. Now, you don't want to try to give him a quick or allow him a quick score, but a 2 in that situation is better than a 3 because then you still have possession of the basketball and you're able to try to then get the inbound the ball and hopefully draw a foul where maybe you get to the free throw line again. But that shows great confidence from Butch Carter to his team in setting up a 3-point opportunity for Dee Brown.
Our next television game on Fox Sports Chicago, the Chicago Bulls will be Tuesday night. Bulls will take on Grant Hill, Joe Dumars, and the Detroit Pistons. Game room starts at 7. You ought to be right in your seat at 7 o'clock. We'll get you all the pregame news and notes, and then the tip-off at 7:30.
Now, last time the Bulls had possession of the basketball, Toni Kukoc had the ball in his hands. They ran off of Randy Brown. They used Dee Brown to double team to try to take it out of his hand. So guys are going to have to make themselves available in an area where if Toni or whoever has the basketball does get double teamed, if they're in a spot where they can do something with it, take a perimeter shot or attack the basket, you still get to the free throw line.
The other question is, there's 31.2 seconds left, a fresh shot clock for the Bulls. So the thought here is that Toronto will get another shot.
Oh, absolutely, unless you can take a shot and get an offensive rebound.
Kukoc with Christie on him. They do run off of Randy Brown. Finds Randy on top. 20-foot jumper by Brown short. Ron Harper with a rebound, and now the Bulls will get the last shot.
And they have a 20 available to them if they want it.
And they'll take a 20-second timeout with 14.7 seconds left. A huge rebound by Ron Harper. He's been incredible on the board.
That's his 12th rebound of the game, but that's exactly what we thought might happen. They ran off of Randy Brown, and he was available, took the shot. But when you do double team, end of game situation, defense is scattered, and Ron Harper was in the right spot at the right time. There's the double. And Randy maybe even could have got it a step deeper, but he short-armed it like Ron Harper did a little while ago. But the big offensive rebound. Now, with this situation, you want to try now, I believe, to play for end of game. If you can get something where it's a quick shot, it has to be a layup. I mean, this type of situation. You don't want to give Toronto an opportunity to end this in regulation. You want to either win the basketball game, get the last shot of the ball game.
Here's our game reset. Bulls have no timeouts left. Raptors have a full and a 20. So you got to get it inbounds. That's number one. You can't call any timeouts. You've got to go to the basket. You've got to make something happen.
I think you got to try to attack this team off the dribble and see if they aren't going to double team again, and maybe you'll find an open shooter.
Worst the Bulls ought to think now is go to overtime. That ought to be the worst thing that ought to happen. Randy Brown with it on top. Bulls just stand and wait. 7 seconds, 6, 5 seconds left. Harper goes one-on-one with Wallace, lost it out of bounds with 7/10 of a second left. And now Toronto wants a timeout. Coach Carter, I think, is asking for some more time. A full timeout. Oh, they're not going to change the clock. 7/10 of a second left. Well, Pax, 7/10 of a second left. There's not a lot you can do, is there?
Well, they're going to take the ball at half court, obviously. And what the Bulls want to do is they want to try to force Toronto to throw the ball out on the perimeter. They don't want to get caught in any back pick situation where Toronto can throw it to the basket. Now this is where you want to play your big guys in and your smaller guys out so they can't throw it to the basket. Make them throw it out on the perimeter and have to throw up some wild shot. Or maybe you can get your hand on the basketball where you tip it, the clock starts, and the game's over.
But what Toronto wants to do is just what you're talking about, is go to the basket and try and get something around the basket, get some kind of a tip, get some kind of a quick little catch and shoot right very close to the bucket.
That's why you try to make sure that your big guys, whoever's on the floor, guys that can get jump and get their hand on the ball, are back in that basket area, because any hand on the basketball is going to start the clock and then the game's going to be over with. You don't want to allow anything that, we've seen Toronto in this game, a lot of back pick action. If they do that and the basket area is open, this ball game can be over. The other thing you want to do, you make the decision on how you're going to play the guy taking the ball out of bounds. Do you throw another defender back into play and not worry about him, or do you get up all over him and try to make it a difficult pass for him to throw it to the basket?
It's almost like pulling your goalie in hockey, only the other way around, to add one more defender into the mix to make sure they can't get something easy. Now the Bulls have their delay of game available if they want to use it. Charles Oakley will trigger the inbound pass. Christie will start down low. Wallace and Carter start up high. Now Carter goes down low. And Dee Brown is up high as well. Dee Brown's another concern because he can get that shot off pretty quick.
Right. Another thing, you have a lot of like-sized players, so the Bulls can switch anything. If it's Doug Christie setting a screen for Vince Carter, the Bulls and Barry and Harper, they can switch that type of action.
You wouldn't think it would be Carter because he's not that good of a shooter, and there's the delay of game by the Bulls.
Let's see what they were doing. They were lifting Carter on the backside. That clears the basket area open. And the Bulls don't want to allow a quick pass to the rim where someone can get a handle on it.
Christie put it up, it's short, and we are going to overtime here in Toronto. The Bulls had a 17-point lead in the second half, but the Toronto Raptors have forced overtime here at the Air Canada Center. Tied at 81, overtime's coming up. We are back and ready for overtime here at the Air Canada Center. 81-81, and Pax, a tough fourth quarter again for the Bulls.
Yeah, it really was. Just 9 points in the quarter for the Bulls. They shot just 3 of 20 from the floor. But it happened because they got out of what worked for them through 3 quarters. That was good ball movement. They were getting their shots out of that. We talked about they had a little bounce to their step. So Toronto in that fourth quarter outscores them 23-9. Now the goal for the Bulls is to regroup, get focused back on what you have to do. 5 minutes of basketball. They need to start getting better shots on the offensive end. Their defense was good enough through 4 quarters to win this basketball game. They just got stale in the fourth quarter offensively, and that's because of too much one-on-one trying to do it off the dribble.
Eric Collins, what they say in the huddle, buddy?
Yeah, guys, it really wasn't about X's and O's. He says, look, we'll go back to running our offense, but the big thing is toughness. They have us on our heels. We got to be the aggressors again. Back to you guys.
Willis gets it on the way up. I mean, that wasn't even close. I understand they want to throw it up again.
It can't be a re-jump. If a guy steals a tip, it should be possession of the basketball.
Boy, that Well, Tim Floyd is saying to the official that that's got to be a possession, and he is exactly right. Willis with it down low. Jump hook, Kevin Willis off, no good. Rebound, fight for it. Oakley inside, had it knocked away. It's loose. Barry comes up with it, out of bounds. It'll belong to Toronto. And now the Bulls bench is up again and really upset.
And Tony's going to have to take care of the body of Charles Oakley. They'd come back with Kevin Willis taking John Wallace out of the lineup. You see on the backside, Oakley pushes Tony all the way underneath the basket. And a good strip, but contact underneath, and that's about the toughness right there. You got to be strong, come up with possession of the ball.
Dee Brown with a long two, nope. Rebound tapped out, and Toronto will get a third chance now.
And the only thing I'd be disappointed with right now is the fact that you're not going after the basketball. You force them to take a couple tough shots, and now you're giving them too many chances to start the quarter, and they get a score into the lane.
Well, you give any NBA team 3 chances, and it's going to be a very high percentage of times they will score. Second chance points, Bulls up by 1. Barry goes down baseline for Kukoc. They double team him. Ron Harper. Baseline. Randy Brown jumper on the way and good. Randy Brown delivers a big shot for the Bulls. Pax, do they have to question that double team coming off of him now? Well, they still do it.
If Randy makes another one. But that time Tony was out on the floor. That double team came from all the way across the floor. And again, the Bulls made the extra pass. That's what they did well through 3 quarters.
Willis in the lane. Jump hook is good again. He's made 2 in a row down low.
Now the Bulls have to look on the floor and say, now that deep, who are we going to come off of? Dee Brown has not been reluctant to take shots, but the Bulls are going to have to figure that out, because you would anticipate they're going to keep going to Kevin Willis.
And Tony's quick 3 goes in and out. 85-83, Raptors with the lead. It had been a while since they'd had the lead. Now Willis wants it down low. Simpkins trying to stop it. Willis comes out on the floor. 9 in the shot clock. Willis backs in, fadeaway baseline jumper, in and out. Oakley with a rebound, and he fouled. He pushed off, and now Oakley's upset. Harper takes the ball away, and Oakley's coming right at Ron, and Harp's not moving away. He's just smiling.
A much better defensive possession by the Bulls. That time they forced Willis off the block. They were trying to front down low and then challenge the entry passer, but they forced him off, and then you turn him to baseline. He's off balance, and there you see the push off underneath. Tony just has to be aggressive down there, throw his body in there, and force the official to make a call because of contact.
85-83, Raptors with the lead, coming up on 3 minutes left in overtime. Randy Brown comes off the screen, double team. Now Simpkins comes way out on the floor. Kukoc goes back door, and the pass deflected out of bounds will belong to the Bulls. If he's got Vince Carter, I'd like to see them bring the ball over to the side and then throw it into Tony.
Now that was the right pass, but he threw it too low. If he'd thrown a little bit higher, Tony could have reached up, grabbed it, and he might have got an opportunity at the basket.
There's the turnover story, 11-10, and how about points off? 16 for Toronto. Barry gets it out to Kukoc. Tony 3 on the way, in and out. Harp tapped it, got it, follow, no good. Christie with the rebound. Now Brent Barry steals it, goes inside. Barry's shot goes in. A great steal by Brent Barry, and we're tied again at 85. Dee Brown up high. He's got a high screen roll either way he wants it. Goes up to Oakley. Christie comes around the screen, looks inside. Willis is down there and has it with Simpkins on him. And Dickey will pick up the personal foul.
Yeah, he didn't have to reach there. 3 seconds on the shot clock. He'd forced Toronto to pass the ball around, and he would have had to take another tough shot. Here you see the Bulls just active on the offensive boards. Hart, good effort. You see Christie falling out of bounds, but Brent Barry just hangs around, comes up with a big basket in overtime.
Toronto will take a full timeout. We will as well. 2 minutes, 15 seconds left in overtime. Bulls and the Raptors are tied at 85 here in Toronto. More hoops coming up. 2:15 left in overtime, 85 all. Bulls are in the second game of a back-to-back. Ball club got to the hotel about 2:30 last night, or this morning, however you want to look at it. Got up, went to shoot around today, come out here, play Toronto into overtime. Looking for a possible win. This would be a nice one to get on the road. Carter will trigger the inbound pass. Finally gets it into Oakley, and Harper almost tapped it away. Now Oakley steps out on the floor with the ball. Willis got a back screen trying to post up. Carter brings it to the right side. For the open man, he's one-on-one with Harper. Bulls help out. Carter from 15. And Harper with another rebound.
Right, a good defensive stop by the Bulls. Toronto came out of that trying to set up a backdoor for Dee Brown, but Randy Brown played it very well, and they forced Carter into a tough shot.
Toni trying to post up down low. Simpkins goes on top. Bulls reverse it. Simpkins goes back door, and he got fouled. Nice job by Dickey.
Well, good back screen that set that up. The Bulls were patient in the offense that time. They ran a back screen, and the basket area was clear. You see Dickey starts with the ball. You may see it. There's the back screen, Toni, at the top of your screen. That basket area is wide open. Bulls trying to look inside. Toni just steps up, and on ball reversal, a great post pass from Brent Barry. That quick one right by the ear of the defender.
Simpkins hits the first. John Wallace comes back in. Kevin Willis will lead. Foul trouble. Lang, Harper with 4. Carter and Christie with 5.
Well, Carter's been playing with 5 since the beginning of the fourth quarter.
Dickey 17 points, 10 rebounds. And that one bounces out. Dickey has tied his career high in points and rebounds. He's tied it. Christie goes down low for Wallace with Simpkins on him. Wallace spins, lost it, got it back, put it up, rebound tapped, it's loose. Harp fights for it, out of bounds. It'll be Bulls ball. A minute 17 left now. 86-85, Bulls with the lead. Harp pushes it up, finds Kukoc. Inside Simpkins, and an offensive foul called against Dickey.
It didn't look like much of one. Dickey may have hooked a little bit. That would have been a huge basket for the Bulls. I don't know if Charles Oakley was just out of position.
Randy Brown steps out on the floor. Comes off the screen, gives it back. Brent Barry gives it back. Brown open jumper. Yes! All right. The Bulls win. Randy Brown from the left side. It bounced straight up in the air, and the Bulls get a win. How about that? On the road, 2 in a row for the Bulls. The Raptors are just stunned under the other basket. Boy, you couldn't diagram it any better. You use all the clock, and Randy Brown, who we talked about, has been shooting the ball great, comes up with a big shot. Pax, I got to see it again. Ange, if you can rack that thing up, I want to see that shot again. We'll get it to you in just a second. Toronto still can't believe they lost this basketball game. The Bulls had a 17-point lead in the second half, came back. Here we go. They run a high screen and roll, and they run a little dribble weave out of it. And Brent Barry could have taken this shot, but shows great patience, understanding the clock. And there's Randy Brown able to get himself square. Looked short when it left his hands. It did. Got the nice bounce at the rim. 0-0. It goes right through, and the Bulls get a win on the road. Let me see it again. That's just real good presence, understanding the shot, the clock, and the time that you have to make the extra pass. And that's what got the Bulls the lead in this basketball game to begin with, the extra pass to the open teammate. So the 0-0, it bounces right through, and Randy was excited. I mean, some kind of excited. Well, Chet, Norm, we had quite an overtime game. The Bulls win it 90-88. Gentlemen, I'll send it right back to you.